you on.
Good evening, calling this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. It's 5:30. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ms. Torres, can you lead us? Allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic of the nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Roll call. Present.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Moving on to 2.1. It is election of governing board president. So a president must be elected by the members of the governing board for 2024. We do this every year.
So we just make a motion?
Mhm.
I make a motion to have Juan Castillo continue being the board president. Second?
The motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo, seconded by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, board.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll continue to do the best I can, with professionalism and respect, the way we've always been doing it. So thank you for your trust. Moving on to 2.2, election of a governing board clerk. And again, this is also something that we do every year around this time.
I make a motion to nominate Ms. Delgadillo to continue as our clerk.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark, second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Moving on to 2.3, establish board meeting dates, times, locations. Any comments or suggestions? Leave it as is. Second Tuesday of every month at 5:30. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Got the formality out of the way. Moving on to 3.1, comments from the audience. Do we have any comments from the audience? No comments from the audience, thank you. 3.2, recognition of ELC writing contest. And this recognition is for Stephanie Garcia from ELC. Fifth grade students participated in the writing contest sponsored by Yuma County Superintendent of Schools Office last month. The essay's topic was, what is the best thing about your community? Stephanie Garcia in Ms. Lapsand's class won first place and received a certificate of recognition, a $30 check, a Raising Cane's meal coupon. Her essay will be published in the Yuma Sun on January 10th. Congratulations. If you could come up front.
Yeah, there was a good plug for the tamale festival in it too. Yes. Yes, I did too. It was really good.
I think he's gonna be presenting.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Moving on to 3.3, recognition of our SMS cheer team. The SMS cheer team won first place in both of the divisions of their competition.
There's a couple of pictures in there around good of the whole team. I think I saw somebody with a trophy. Is that the trophy? Lou?
So it was two competitions.
I believe so. I think, mhm. Mhm.
Oh,
We had show cheer, which is 16 of our girls, and they competed in a certain division with tumbling. And there was game day, which is all girls, the entire team. And we participated, and we were in the junior and high school, and we won first place in both of them.
Great job.
awesome.
Oh, and it is my mic on?
That's great. Congratulations. Is the trophy here?
Is my mic on? It is.
So if you
can I-
want, can you
can I
come
say
to the
something?
front to take a picture? That way we can-
I wanted to say congratulations to the coach and teachers for taking the time to represent our schools because it takes a lot of work, especially with these middle school kids. Because instead of them being on their tablets, they're out here representing our school. So thank you. And for your fifth grade teacher also motivating these kids with so much technology. And look at you guys. What a wonderful job you guys are doing. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Another picture of the coaches.
Yeah, the coaches, everyone.
You want to take it? Tucky?
Okay, moving on to 4.1, report from Dr. No.
Mine is short. Our next community meeting's coming up for capital needs to talk about what the community feels like are the capital needs in our district. The next two meetings, the first one is January 12th, that's Friday at Orange Grove at 6 p.m. And the one after that is January 23rd at TDS at 6 p.m. So those two are coming up. We already did our first one at SBS before the holiday. So we'll do two this month and two in February, and then they could be the same people all the time, or different people, it doesn't matter. We're talking about capital needs, what the community feels like the capital needs are in our district. Capital needs buildings and facility wise, what we feel like our needs are.
Any questions or comments?
I have a question. I'd like to know, what was the attendance?
We had one family at SBS, one family, and Martine and Mr. Munoz, and the secretary.
Is there any way that we can reschedule it again? Because I did talk to parents and because it was the holidays, they'd had a hard time attending that meeting.
They can go to any of the meetings. They're all district-wide meetings. So we're going to be at Orange Grove on the 12th on Friday. They could come to that one. They could come to the TDS one if they want to, and then we're going to have two more in February. And then if we hear that people want it back again, we can go circle back again.
Yeah, I think we would because it's going to be hard for some of our parents to come over here on this side of
How
Somerton.
many students do we have from that area that are attending Orange Grove? Would you say 150?
Yeah, around one, I think we're at 187, so half of our students at Orange Grove come from that area.
Oh, then we should.
So just so you know, that might be a good, but it doesn't matter, we can go back again. We're gonna make a sweep through and then we can go back again and pick up more at that time.
Okay, thank you.
And how are you advertising or notifying parents of this?
We've been just putting it out by by our normal channels through the web and through the Facebook.
Thrill
posts
share.
and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the school level, usually the school we're going to is the one that hears the most about it because we're.
I'm sorry, I don't know that I've seen like a Spanish flyer, I guess, for translation. Do we have a Spanish flyer?
I don't know.
So Rebecca sent it out in Spanish through the brochure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know, like, even as a board member, I had to learn what capital was, right? So I think, parents might not understand what that means, and so I think it would be valuable if we could push at least the Spanish translation over again to.
We could put it out again. We've been putting it out for each meeting.
So each site is posting it as it's approaching?
Yeah, it's not really about that one site though. The idea was to make sure and come to the communities where they are. But it can be anyone district-wide who come to any of the meetings, or all of them.
Yeah.
Same people that come to each one if they wanted to. And we're gathering the input from.
Yeah, and maybe that could be communicated as well, where it's any, parent, any family from any of the schools that doesn't have to, pertain to OGS, right? But I think that can also be highlighted.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Dr. Knoll. Moving on to 4.2, report from Ms. A.
All right. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Nice to get back and get started. I'm going to peek because I can't see it there. So I know I wrote it down there, but we did get the arts grant. So that was awesome. So all of our K-3 teachers and our arts teachers are going to get $1,000 to spend on supplies for their classrooms. So that's really neat. Our resource teachers as well. And then just a notice, just a reminder about Teacher of the Year nominations and when they're due, and just a little bit of the important dates that are there that we have to follow as administrators. And this goes out from the Teacher of the Year organization, Rotary, and that goes out to all of our administrators across Yuma County schools.
Okay. Any questions or comments? No? Thank you, Ms. A. So moving on to 5.1, board members report and board attendance. Ms. Ariola?
I wasn't here the last meeting, but I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to join the SBA conference, because it does give me that background. It makes me aware, like all the organizations that we have out there that can help us, here in the district. So when we go out there, guys, for me is we're learning something new and we're bringing things, innovating things into the district. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to take part in that. So
Thank you, Ms. Ariola. Ms. Torres?
I did not. I'm happy that my kids are in the house and occupied. So I really hope that you all had a nice break, and I know that my own kids did. They're struggling to get back on consistent sleep cycles. So back to what we said before, continue to take care of yourselves, continue to put yourself first, and we know that by doing that, you're putting the kids first as well. So continue to take care of your health. There's bugs, all sorts of bugs going around everywhere. So, just take care of yourselves, and thank you for the opportunity to serve you all. And another congratulations to the cheer team. Way to represent our community, and then to our writer, congrats, keep writing. And I'm glad that you got to highlight all the best little restaurants in Somerton, and that was, just thank you for highlighting.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Ms. Clark?
I also was not able to attend the ASBA meeting, but I always look forward to those meetings. They're great learning tools for us to grow, and I truly appreciate the opportunity. I do plan on going to the next one. Also, I just wanted to say congratulations to the cheer. You guys looked amazing, and aside from the teachers and the students that are actually doing the work, I just want to let you know that the parents' effort and being there and coming to our meetings, and when you brought the girls the last time, it does show, your integrity and, all the effort that everyone puts forth in making sure that these kids shine and that they bring an honor to the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Delgadillo.
I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone and welcome back. I'm not gonna echo what Ms. Torres said, but exactly what she said, it's so important that we all take care of each other and support each other, lean on your administrators and administration here in the district. If you need anything, please do take care of yourself. I work in the health field, so COVID has drastically increased in Yuma County. So please, please, please take care of yourself and the kids in your classroom as your own. Thank you to those that participated in the light parade. I didn't get to see many this year because I had to walk the parade.
Yeah.
So I arrived super late after I walked it. So I didn't get to see many, but those that were present, thank you so much for participating, especially the transportation department. The kids just enjoy it every time. I also want to congratulate the cheer team. I was, on Facebook, I saw it and the pictures you guys all look amazing. And also the young lady that highlighted Somerton, I take Somerton to my heart every time. And just to highlight, Somerton is a big deal to me. And so thank you so much. Thank you guys, and great job to all the teachers that participated with the cheer and that went out of town, and the parents as well. Without your support, these kids wouldn't have that. So thank you so much. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Delgadillo. Well, they left me nothing to say, right? Oh, Happy New Year and really congratulations, Stephanie and SMS, the cheer team. We appreciate your hard work, dedication. We know that that's not easy. It takes a lot of commitment on everyone's end. So, great job. I also want to thank everyone, for the light parade. I'm very thankful for the Somerton District investing in our professional growth. I did have the opportunity to attend the ASBA annual conference in Phoenix. It's always you always learn something new, the main thing of revolving the conference this year was it dealt more with like conflict management, on how important it really is. I mean, there's always going to be conflict. But it's how you manage it and handle it that takes you to that next level, So very informative sessions. Except I think the first day was the only one where it was a little bit where like, okay, I could have slept in a little bit, but great sessions overall. Also, I just want to, for those of us that are planning on running for the school board, packets are ready. You can go in and pick them up. So just wanted to share that out for this year. Yeah, I picked up my packet yesterday, so I just wanted to share that with you all, and that's all I have. So we're gonna move on to consent agenda. Does anybody have a question or comment or want to pull something out from consent agenda before we make a motion?
I want to pull out the 7.13, the approval to appoint district signers. Well, I have a question. That's why.
Okay, go ahead.
I thought we had already approved Melissa as a signer.
Want to explain that?
Yes, we did. Previously, I left out.
From the, wasn't she on the list though? No. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda as stated.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to action items. 8.1, approval of out-of-town field trips.
You'll see robotic field trip and SMS wrestling field trip.
Okay. When was added? Okay. Any questions or comments? No? Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve the field trips as stated.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second?
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 8.2, discussion of extracurricular activities funded by the district.
So you had requested at the last meeting that staff prepare information for you so that you could see how we do the student activities.
Can we make that bigger?
You also have it as an attachment, but you can.
Yeah, but I was more for our audience.
And so Ms. Rosario is gonna talk first, and then I'll follow.
Hi, good evening. So we attached the district-wide stipends that are approved every year. The first sheet you're looking at is for all of the sites. Those are all the stipends that come out of the district budget. And then in addition to those district-wide stipends, the next budget you're gonna see, I don't know if you can turn that. This is a separate budget that's put aside just for SMS. We understand that their needs are a little greater, and so this budget includes everything that is paid by the district for each of the different clubs.
So the SMS also has the other, all of the schools have the other.
Correct, so
SMS has
has
this
the-
addition.
correct. This is in addition to what everyone else has on the first approved stipend sheet.
You'll notice that there's salaries, there are stipends for people doing the work to lead them.
So we give these stipends for the staff to work with the students. And then on the next page after that, you will see that the additional accounts that are used by all sites, these are the additional ways that they're able to get funded for their different projects. They can, it's the fees account. A lot of times they'll collect the monies from the parents and students for something specific like uniforms, if that's what's needed. The tax credit donations, those come from community members. It goes, towards their tax liability. A lot of the sites use that for either specific clubs or just general. It depends on what's coming in from the donor. Those are specified by the donor. And then you have miscellaneous donations. That account comes in, we can get it doesn't necessarily go against the tax liability. It's just a general donation, and a lot of times those come into the district and they are spoken for as well. So we'll get a donation that says, this is specific to wrestling, or this is specific to the chess club, and that's where they stay. So that particular club can use them. And then the other account is just gifts and grants to teachers, and those are monies that come in for classroom purposes. And all of these, although the district oversees these, we don't dictate how they could spend them. That's really, for the site to decide how they're gonna spend that money.
So there are two other additional issues. I wrote down my comments just so that it might be easier for you. There are two other additional issues that we came across that are really important to consider, and the two issues are equity and budget. And so when we look at being compliant with the law, equity is one of the first things. We have to be careful that we allow flexibility for each school to do what's needed at the time. One year, everybody's doing robotics, and then the next year, they're all doing cheer. And then the next year is another thing, but the parents and the students who are coming through, maybe a program might last 2 or 3 years and be real popular, but then the next group that comes through has a different interest. So what we try to do is not be prejudiced, like to not say one thing is better than another as a district, to support all of them equally so that we're giving equal opportunity for any interest or skill that a teacher or a parent may want to do with the kids. So, and a lot also depends on the capabilities of the staff and coaches to do it. Cheer is a good example because it takes a lot of training to properly be a cheer coach. You have a lot of safety issues. You have to be really careful with that. So in a lot of these activities, it's important that the people that are doing it know what they're doing. And so we provide the annual amount for stipends to lead the various activities. In addition, each school may use donations, grants, or other funding sources that are allowable for student activities, as Mr. Rosario described. Most schools use their PTO to manage fundraising for smaller clubs or activities. That's the parent-teacher organization, and that comes to you and gets approved. But there's also a few booster clubs, 2 that I know of. They don't register with us. Booster Club is a parent organization that is separate. Cheer has one, wrestling has one. There may be others. We don't have anything to do with the Booster Club. That's their organization that they run, and they gather donations, fundraising, or whatever they do within their Booster Club. So the funds raised by a Booster Club are deposited in their own accounts at their own bank, and the club officers manage those funds outside of our district accounts. So donations to the school district for specific activities go into our donations account, and then we do manage that. It has to be for that earmarked purpose, and the coach puts in for it, and we distribute it for that purpose, but we kind of control that when it's donated through us. But if there's a booster club, the money may be going to the booster club that we know nothing about. So each grade school is equally supported for student activities. Additional funds are given to the middle school because of the age group expectations. We show no partiality between activities, and we encourage a wide range of interest in competitions. As a district, we fund any travel within Yuma County for competitions for any club. Whatever the club is, we will provide the transportation within Yuma County. So that's the equity issue, being careful that we support all of the different interests in some sort of equal way. We did check with other school districts, and we are doing the same thing as other school districts. The second thing that guides the reason that the school districts do it the way that we do it is because of budget. So if we're going to spend, I think the total on this one account for extracurricular intramural is $26,200. So that money has to be set aside and budgeted for. So we make the decisions about these activities when we do the budget. So when we approve the budget, we're assuming this amount of expenditure for this purpose. So if we wanted to make a change, we would need to make it at the budget time of year. But when do the parents and the students get excited about whatever individual sport? It's usually at the start of the next year, especially like maybe like I remember when they started getting real interested in robotics. All of a sudden they were doing robotics. We're going, oh, look at robotics, this is cool, you know. But we didn't know at the time that we were making the budget that somebody was going to be interested in doing robotics. Do you see what I mean? So when we do the budget, we have to think ahead about the funding that we're going to use to support and make sure we find a way to equally support. By the way, with robotics, because of that theme, it could be supported by several grants. They can use some of their grant money for that, the schools could. So any adjustments that need to be made in the spring when the budget is adopted, so we can balance the cost of supplies, staff, benefits, operations, all that has to be balanced. So if we're going to add more to student activities, it has to happen at the budget time of year. It can't happen later because the group wants to go compete somewhere and it's going to cost a lot of money to go. We don't have loose money laying around to just put towards something like that. And the board makes those decisions, making sure that they're being equitable when they adopt the budget. So the budget cycle is part of why districts operate the way we do. We contacted other districts in Yuma County and they handle it the same way. We don't know at the end of 1 year that at the next year a certain club is going to go to state competition or desire to be more active. We certainly don't want to take funding from one interest to pay for another interest. That wouldn't be fair to the students involved. Perhaps for 2 or 3 years, cheer is very active, then wrestling becomes the interest, or chess or robotics. We don't require these clubs to compete, but we are happy that they are following their interests and want to encourage it. So we provide for a small stipend for the coach and transportation to events in Yuma County. The students and their parents are welcome to do more by fundraising or seeking donations. So that's just represents between what Ms. Rosario presented and I presented. That represents our current practice and the way we're looking at the view of it. We tried to find some law that says you have to do it this way. No, there's a lot of laws about how you handle the money and the record keeping of it and all of that. But this part is simply a budget issue. You have to decide as a board how you're going to budget. The reason a previous board someday in the past just did stipends is because that's one way to be equitable. We're providing for at least the leadership of that club. And that's the basic cost.
Questions or comments? No questions or comments?
Here, tax credits were pushed a lot. So I don't know if that's something that we can try to encourage, maybe even around tax season, right, when people have some extra cash flow. But I don't know, I mean, maybe at the beginning of the school year, those packets that go out that we have to fill out, those tax credit donations would be really a positive thing for, wherever their child is going to be, investing their time in. So just something to consider.
We did just do a tax credit
Last.
Yes,
We did revise our forms and we do send them out every new year. We do get them out to both the community and the district staff because we do have that option for them to have it taken out of their paycheck throughout the year. And we do have the forms posted on our website.
Yeah, as a parent, I haven't seen anything, right? As a board member, I've seen it in my email, but so I'm thinking maybe, each school, if they're interested, maybe pushing this.
Thrill share. We should send it out.
I have a question, and it's just because from the district I work at, do you allow, is the stipends only for staff, or do you allow outside entities to come in and coach the kids?
we require that it be our employee because you have to have the fingerprint check and the background check, make sure that we feel a liability to make sure. But there is some controversy because we really would prefer a certified staff member. Because classified staff people, you have to pay by the hour. So we can't really pay them the same way that we do a stipend for a certified person.
But for classified, couldn't it just be like off of a timesheet?
It's off of a timesheet, however, then you run into them going over
Overtime.
their time, yes.
Yes.
And then you run into, because of that, then they hit that stipend amounts much faster.
Right, so they have to,
Especially if someone is really interested in trying to do a lot, like they're traveling with the kids or whatever, that time just accumulates. So if that is a problem, we do prefer to have certified exempt employees for these.
Yeah, and I think for just a comment that I'm gonna make is, I wish we did have that opportunity to have unlimited funding so that we could fund all the extracurricular activities and if they win here at the local level, for them to go compete at the state level. I do wish we had that opportunity to do it here at the district, but I think with how we're doing it equitably right now, if we were to take away from one, we'd be giving it to another one. And to me, as a board, I feel that if we're gonna what we do to one club, we gotta do it across the board, give everyone that same opportunity. I know it's difficult, but I think for us as a board, this is where we have that. Do we want to put more funding on this? But that means that we would be taking it away from, let's say, maybe from salaries, from staff, or from things like that. these are tough decisions for us here. There, as much as we want to encourage and support, those extracurricular activities, it can be difficult, especially when 94%, I believe, of our budget comes from the state and federal, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
State,
state,
comes
so,
from taxpayers across the state, 6%.
local.
And then the other thing, Mr. Castillo, the key is that we need to do it at budget time. So you do have a little bit of time right now. If you're looking at these and saying, well, I think we could put more into some of the stipends, or if you wanted to increase it or whatever, the time to do it would be when we start talking about budget. Because then you'd have to look ahead if you make a big change.
Any other questions or comments? And this isn't an action item, this is just a discussion item, for it to be placed on the agenda. So,
When are we gonna give a comment on some of these things that you're talking about? Because there are things that we.
I can go ahead and allow you to speak since it was requested by, I believe, Ms. Santos about a month ago. Yeah, so.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Concha. I am one of the parents of the cheer group. That is my daughter over there. And I want to apologize beforehand if I do get aggressive in the way I speak, because I am passionate about supporting my daughter in everything that she does. And I take it very seriously. I see that you guys approved out-of-town trips for 3 out-of-town trips. I believe 2 of them were wrestling, which I know in this town, wrestling is popular every year. Not just one year and not another. It's popular every single year. They always get a huge turnout. And I know that for a fact because I'm 53 years old. I grew up in this community and went and graduated from COFA and everything. Wrestling has been popular since the 80s. I don't see that trend going down anytime soon. If you see that and you see these trends, I understand there are trends where robotics might become popular because it's a new thing, it's a new technology, and kids want to get into a new field and learn new things. I'm all for it. What I'm here for is for my daughter, because I believe that they deserve equal opportunities, like you stated, to be able to get funds that will assist them to do things and progress forward. I'm not asking that a specific amount be set aside just for them to be able to go on trips out of town. What I am suggesting is that there be a stipend, as you say, put aside, that every organization or extracurricular activity, whatever you want to call it, football, soccer, wrestling, they all have an equal opportunity to say, you know what, we will put $500 towards a trip out of town, and we have X number of availabilities. And then those clubs, if you have 5 available, then the clubs will submit to try and receive these funds. And if, like you said, if it's robotics that's popular this time, they're gonna put in for 1 stipend. Wrestling is gonna put in for 1 stipend. We're not asking for the whole amount for the trip. We're asking for assistance. That's it. Anything that might be available to alleviate the stress on the parents, because we're fundraising to be able to go out of town, rent vans, because if we use a bus and the bus driver, I believe it's $2,100, but yet if we rent a van and we take the children, it's a lesser amount, because we still got to feed them and everything else. That's what I'm asking for you guys to do when you do come up for those budgets and you think about other ways to become creative to put in there saying, like I said, 5 stipends that are available for the first clubs that request it. And if all 5 don't get used, then they get recycled into the next year, or they get moved on to another section, or to be used by what they are being needed for the extracurricular activities. That's what I wanted to bring up, because I feel that I've seen other locations do things like that, and it didn't create no animosity saying, oh, no, why did you do it for them and you didn't do it for me? No, it was available to everyone. And I think that would be the most fair way to do a distribution of funds in this manner. And also, one other thing, I did request a copy of the budget line for line, and I never received it. And
The term you're using, it's not, I think, what you're asking. Because like I said, for student activities, we don't, all we have is the list of the stipends we support.
okay, so that's the actual budget right there then. Because I'll request it from the Federal Freedom of Information Act. I'll just request it.
If you would like a copy of that, I can give that to you. It's not technically a budget, but we can give you a copy of that if that's what you would like. Is that what you have in mind?
Well, I want to know exactly where the money is going, ma'am.
That's
That,
where it is.
that shows where it's allotted to.
Yes.
It's not exactly where it's going.
No,
Does that make sense?
That's
That is
that's
exactly-
exactly
That's
where it's
exactly,
going.
Yes,
dollar for dollar? Okay, then,
Yes, sir.
yes, if I may be able to
That's
get
a
it.
stipend to the
Copy
teacher.
of that expenditure budget you can hand to us.
And this is also under public content.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
this is under public content, so it's not under executive or anything. So
That is not where the money goes. That is what the coach gets paid.
That's all the money that we support for each.
That's what comes from the
Yeah,
district.
that's what the coach gets paid.
Yeah, I know that for a fact that that's only, that stipend, the $800 for cheerleading is only for the coach. It's not for the girls or anything for the girls.
Right.
That's just for the coach.
Did you want the other one too? That
Thank you. It's just, these are things that, we're out here trying to raise money to make sure that they can see another aspect of the world other than a low-income town. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but we are a low-income town here, and we want our kids to do better than we did. At least I know I do. I want her to go to college and hopefully come back and make the town better. I mean, that's my goal. That's why I'm here fighting, because I'm trying to make it better for the next generation. And that's my responsibility as a parent, to try and do that. And I hope that you can see my point of view in that and support me in this endeavor that I'm trying to do by pushing for, assistance.
So do you want just the budget for the sports or the whole budget?
The whole budget.
Yeah, because that's not the whole.
Yeah, no, but this is part for the
Yeah,
extracurricular.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Oh, I was just,
Oh, no. Any comments on anything that I said that you have a question for me?
no, I mean, I was just gonna, I do feel that there's like a misconception with wrestling here in the city. I mean, if it is very popular, it's because there's very dedicated coaches and parents that are constantly, fundraising and going above and beyond. If the wrestling parents and coaches, they can attest that we provide the same support, just like in any other activity. I do feel that there is that misconception in our city, but we provide the same across the board. So it's not like if we're playing favoritism for a special sport.
Okay.
But
Well, and I wanted to add also the field trips that were just approved, sir. They were not funded by the district. Those came out of the student activity funds and funds that were fundraised. So just to put clarity to that, because I believe that you thought that when they approved that we were paying for it, but no, it's a formality that we must go through because it's a school sanctioned trip. So we have to have approval by our board that they can go out of town. And so then that way it's all open and we know who the chaperones are and their safety and all of those things that are taken care of. But the funding source was from the student activity fundraisers and such.
Clarifying that
Yes, sir.
for me. I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Also, if you look at your chart, you'll see that wrestling actually has less of a stipend than cheer.
Wrestling has less, 700 and 700?
No, they have more. I worked all year.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna,
I just had one
no,
other
hold on,
comment. Yes.
we have a speaker here. If you're gonna speak, then I'm gonna ask you to come to the front because we're on this agenda. I'm not gonna allow anyone just speak out of turn.
Just to, you might not be aware of this, but again, because of the wrestling, I know that the wrestlers do get their uniforms from the school. They don't have to purchase them and they don't have to rent them. They are given to them and then they have to return them at the end of the year. The cheerleaders don't get a uniform. They have to buy them. So maybe if you're talking about being fair, there should be, that issue should be addressed in your next budget.
Okay.
If you would,
We don't buy uniforms. Mr. Moreno, do you recall how the wrestling uniforms first came up out in the middle school? Do you know?
Yes, please.
Just to clarify, so there's a budget that you get to, so first of all, the uniforms are for sports. So we have the league, there's a league through Yuma County that, middle schools participate in, that is wrestling, softball, soccer, and those are sanctioned by the county and by the school, so then we're obligated to fund those, programs, so they go represent the school. So we're obligated to buy uniforms for those programs. Chess, cheer, other organizations, there's no budget to buy uniforms per se for that because it's not a SYCIA event. So that's why the uniform situation came up. And that's how uniforms are bought. There's money to buy uniforms for all the sports that are up there because they got to go represent and play in the league that's the Yuma County. I'm not sure that answers your questions. That's the reason why cheer doesn't get uniforms for like chess or other clubs that come up, is because they're not part of that league. So, but if they were part of that league, then we'd be obligated to send them in uniform to compete against Woodard or compete against San Luis.
correct.
And
But
just,
they do go and support
Yeah.
the teams that you're saying, so they are participating in those events, correct?
Yeah.
Those uniforms are reused year after year.
Correct.
And I don't think that's something that might be possible with the cheer stuff. It's
That
very
I'm
different.
not
That
aware
would
of.
be- That's like yeah, but they're used year after year, and then once they get worn and torn, I believe then they're repurchased after, I don't know, 5-6 years.
I do believe in high school, they do give them their uniforms and they only have to buy like the undergarments and the undershirt, if I'm.
High school's a whole nother ball of wax though.
I
Yeah.
have to make a
High school's a whole different ballgame.
Okay,
They're their own district.
correct.
The Yuma Union High School District and Antelope District. And they actually budget for out-of-town competitions and things like that in advance. So they do things differently.
Okay.
All the
'Cause they're set
elementary and
in
middle schools do
divisions.
it the same way the high school district does it. It's consistently throughout their schools. They do pay for some of their out-of-town competitions.
And we don't do it that way, why, ma'am?
Why don't we do it at the
Oh,
elementary level?
yeah, why don't we do it like that? I thought you said all of us did it the same way, but only the
All
elementary.
all
correct?
elementaries.
All of us,
Okay.
the elementary districts first. So there's, The Yuma Union High School District covers all of this Yuma County plus Antelope. Those are the only two high school districts. I don't know what Antelope does, but I know that Yuma Union budgets, they estimate what they think, they might have for state competitions or whatever. They set that aside in the budget in the spring.
For
So
state.
it's just set aside. They don't use it for too much of their competitions.
Ms.
But-
Delgadillo had a comment? Go
Yes,
ahead.
I have a comment, and thank you for clarifying that, Ms. Say, regarding the out-of-town trips. I think it's important that we always show the public those attachments on the public comment on here, because if we show the public on those out-of-town trips, it does specifically say parents will be paying, and so that's why I didn't want you to have a misconception, because since they didn't show you,
Correct.
it does say that, and so you not seeing it gives a different perspective of it. So from now on, if it's on the public, I would like for it to be shown so everybody can see it. I did my research, on that, and cheer does come to my heart because my nieces are avid cheers from middle school all the way to high school and now in college. And so my sister's a cheer mom. I'm a cheer aunt, and I have a shirt to prove it. The Yuma Union High School does not provide funding.
No?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We have frozen our butts off trying to do a bunch of fundraisers in order for my niece to compete and go to cheer. And I've used my tax donations for her in order for her to raise that money. I helped purchase her uniform. And so that's why I'm like, the school doesn't provide that uniform because I paid for it. I helped my sister pay for it. And so I'm very glad that you are an avid parent, because there's not a lot of parents that do that. And I congratulate you on that. And I hope that motivates your daughter to continue her cheer in high school, because this competition is nothing of what you're going to see in high school. And I congratulate your cheer coach for preparing you for that. But I do want you to understand that once she hits high school, sir, you're going to fork up a lot of money.
I'm aware of that.
And I'm glad that you want to do that, because as a sports mom too, and a single mom, it's expensive. And I thank you for doing that for your daughter. And when she grows up, she's going to thank you, because mine thanks me. And so I just want to clear that up, that these, we do have to approve of those out-of-town trips. And I don't want you or that misconception that wrestling or robotics is more important than cheer. As a cheer aunt, it's definitely not. But whatever we have, and as Mr. Moreno clarified, and I thank you for doing that, Mr. Moreno, we are mandated by the county to provide those uniforms for those three that they have to go compete. As he mentioned, if cheer was part of that cluster of sports that are competing within the schools, then we would have to purchase them. But cheer isn't, and neither is robotics, and neither is chess, and so forth. But I hope that we want to make sure that as a board, that you as a parent understand and have a clear conception of what it takes to be a dedicated parent, and as far as giving you the information that you need. The district office is open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. Come over and speak to our leaders here, and request whatever public record is available. They need to give it to you. And so just come in Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. And that's all I have.
Thank you for that clarification, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything else, sir? Nope.
Thank you. Moving on to 8.3, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve or deny the release of Priscilla Guerrero from her FY 23-24 contract effective 1/12/2024. And there is the letter under executive content.
Make a motion to release Priscilla Guerrero from her contract.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo, second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 8.4, discussion and possible action to waive or fine 1% of Priscilla Guerrero's FY 23-24 contract.
So the exhibit that we used as the guideline for public content, and so based on that exhibit, I am recommending the 1% fine for Priscilla Guerrero.
I make a motion to approve the fine of 1% for Priscilla Guerrero.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark. I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Nay.
Anyone opposed? I'm sorry,
We do a roll call.
okay, let's do a roll call.
Castillo, President.
Aye.
Lorena Delgadillo,
Nay.
Christina Clark,
Aye.
Laura Torres. And Lisa Arroyo.
Nay.
So, make a motion.
Make a motion to waive the 1%.
So motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo, second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Aye.
Aye.
So motion carries 3-2. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve or deny the release of Elaine Chavez from her FY 23-24 contract, effective 1/9/24.
Make a motion to approve the release of contract for Dr. Elaine Chavez.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo, second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 8.6, discussion and possible action to waive or fine 1% of Elaine Chavez FY 23-24 contract.
Based on the resignation description and the exhibit that it's using, I would recommend that we find 1%.
Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve the fine of 1% for Elaine Chavez.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark. I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So,
Susan, I'm trying to, the circumstances are practically the same, but a bit different.
The circumstances for Ms. Chavez just have to do with her finding another job with better pay she wants to go to.
And the other one was not her choice.
yeah, there's an errors under executive content. Do we do a roll call? Let's do a roll call. Aye.
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 Nay.
Motion carries 4-1. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve or deny the release of Nayeli Escalante Chaboya from her FY 23-24 contract effective 1/9/2024.
Make a motion to approve Nayeli Escalante Chavoya from her contract.
Second.
Motion was made by Ms. Clark, by Ms. Delgadillo, second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 8.8, discussion and possible action to waive or fine 1% of Nayeli Escalante Chaboya's FY 23-24 contract.
So based on the description in the resignation letter and the circumstances surrounding this, I felt according to the exhibit that I would recommend that the fine be waived in this case.
Make a motion to approve to waive the 1% for Ms. Chaboya.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo, second by Ms. Torres. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 9.1, any recommendations from the board for future agenda items? No? 9.2, superintendent search special board meeting. We have it, it's scheduled tomorrow. Is it 6 o'clock
5:30.
or 5:30? So tomorrow at 5:30?
5:30.
5:30. And 9.3, board appreciation month. January is board recognition month. Dr. Noel?
So I want to thank you all for your service. I know that it's difficult. Some of the decisions that have to be made are really difficult. I really appreciate the time that you put into it and the effort you put into being fair and to really listen to what people have to say. So thank you so much. Kathy has a special drawing for you.
So in recognition of our board, we'd like to appreciate you. I know you take time out of your personal schedule to be here, and we appreciate all your guidance and your consistency. And with that, I have your names in a little cup here. And we have an Amazon gift card for $25 from Virgie, one of our sponsors. So who would like to draw?
Who has the lucky hand?
Well, this one flew out at me, so. Ms. Delgadillo.
All right.
Thank you really for your
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Delgadillo.
And I do want to make a comment. I appreciate everybody. This is going to be my 10th year, if I'm not mistaken, on the board. And so I'm really contemplating on not running, but I don't know yet. But thank you so much for everything that you do. I want everyone to know that this is a volunteer. We don't get paid to be here, and it is an honor to be here every once a month or whenever we have situations to take care of, and we do it with a lot of love. So thank you very much. This isn't necessary, but thank you. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Ms. Delgadillo. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion was made by Ms. Delgadillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you.